real quick question. Who in here is a drug addict or alcoholic or in recovery, a person in recovery, whatever it is you like to fucking call it? Okay, cool. Glad you're here. Thanks for coming. Real quick, my name is Chris. And real quick backstory, I used to love to shoot drugs and drink. So now you know who I am. Now I'm going to say it like I'd say in my home group. You know, my name is Chris, and you know who I am. Because I know you, you know me. We got the same kind of story, just a different ship in the same ocean. You know, it was, real quick, there's going to be some swearing. All right, and so have you ever seen the movie Over the Top, when Hawk turns his hat around and he turns it on and things are going to get fucking serious? Well, the hat just got turned around, so here we go. All right, so check it out. Like I said, I'm 44 years old. I could claim I'm 23. Most people confuse me for a young guy. But the best, you know, what it is it's like, so I'm the third child. I'm an entitled kid, I guess you could say. So I was born in Detroit. My dad got moved to the air base in Battle Creek. He's an aircraft mechanic. So again, the third child. My brother's a cop in Coldwater. My sister's a mother of a child. I was the youngest. I had two sons. My sister has a son. My brother has two sons, and there's and I was the funkle. Turns out I was the drunkle. But what it happens. So I'd only have, I think, a half hour. I could milk it a little bit. I'm not a very good public speaker, but God, can I fucking speak in public? So. It starts off at like the age of 13, you start taking pharmaceuticals, you start drinking to party to be cool. So from the age of 13 to probably 35, my middle name was Xanax. And then, I'll never do acid. I did that one. I'll never shoot heroin. Well, I became pretty good. There's a commercial back in the 80s. Nobody wants to be a junkie when you grow up. Well, I became very good and I succeeded at that one. So then, in the meetings, we got jails, institutions, and death. Got the t-shirt, been there, and I'll be damned if I didn't die a few times too. So it's just like, the whole gamut of things that you go through, the things that I went through, the things that we all went through. Excuse me, I'm getting a little parched up here. Water boy, can I get one? So basically how things work out is, you start off partying, you want to be the cool guy, and so I'm the youngest, and the way it works out for me is my mom could never tell me no. So it's like we get this problem during, hey, look at that, thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Well, real quick, I don't want to blow myself up. So it's like, yeah. I feel sorry for Marty, she's got to hold this next. And so, it's, it all just starts off with, I'm the youngest, and I was a heavy-set kid, and it turns out when you quit shooting heroin, you get a little fatter again, too. But you become comfortable, you use humor, you start to fucking defend yourself. So, I could sit here for hours and tell you what not to do. I think we all could. Let's see, what can I get after, that's really gonna grab you by the boo-boo and let you know what happened to me the worst. Well, they say rock bottom is a spot where you hit your lowest point. Well, I went to rock bottom quite a few times. One particular time, I had TNT and blew right through the fucking bottom and kept fucking going. So, where do I want to start? All right, there was that one. And then there was that one. And there was that one. So, when people are using drugs and you're around somebody and you're doing drugs with them and they've done too many drugs and they don't make it, what is a normal person's first reaction? Call 911, trying to save this person. Well, I was more occupied by still getting high. So, what had happened was this guy had died, and I didn't do a fucking thing about it. And I ended up going to jail. And this is another part of the story, you know what I mean? This is the depth it took me to. These drugs and alcohol had me by such a stronghold that this other person that, I only knew him for a few days. I rationalized it forever. But then I found out that it's, that's his story, and his story ended. And so why I'm standing here today is because my story continued. It's not the best thing that happened in my life, but life keeps moving on. And it's, then you meet people in rehabs. First of all, I'd like to thank my friends in the back that came to visit and came to support me. I have my home group. I have a guy that I knew in home, in the county jail. And then there's a special woman who's in the audience who we share a home together. So, these are all, and you get to know these people, and these are the people that want to see me succeed. They don't care that I just copped some dope or I got some booze. They don't want to see me do that. They want to see you do better, so they're there to support you. They're there to help. And life today for me is good. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I take my daughter. My sons, 21 and 18, are my oldest, and then my youngest kid is 3. So it's a big, huge gap. Huge gap. So and all in that time, life kept life in me, and what I learned to do best was to get high and drink, and I got to try and keep it. They say it's a message of hope, so I don't want to relive on too much of the old fucking copping dope, scoring and getting high, and all the things that you used to fucking do, because we've all done it, we've all been there, and like I said, it's just we're in different ships. Some bigger, some smaller, but the same rocky, crazy ocean. And, at some point, somebody threw me a life ring. And, this is where I met a lot of people. And, some people that I met in treatment I used with. So you have to kind of pick and choose who you want to be around. And so I met this Corey Winfield guy, and he's like, I'm going to start a podcast. The room I'm in is 217. And so I've seen this guy actually do his thing. And and he always kept trying, you got to... And he's like, well, you'll do it on, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. And let's say 958 days ago was the last time I picked up a drink or drugs. So that's like 2 years, 7 months. I used to be that guy that I don't count days. So we'll make them fucking count. So for the past 958 days, I've made every fucking day that I have count. Ain't that the truth? It's so, then when I finally moved into a sober house that wasn't in Battle Creek, if you knew about Battle Creek, you heard war stories about Battle Creek. Wonderful town if you know the right people. Terrible place if you're a guy like me. So I moved up to Boyne City. Okay, I called it a piece of shit town for the first. I couldn't tell you how long it was because I wasn't ready then, because then when I moved into a sober house, we're going to do everything they called the next step. I called it the next stumble. August 1st, I'm closing the place. In 30 days, you got to find somewhere to go. So, just like I had a recovery coach who called me and said he was going to kill himself. I had another person offer me drugs as a sponsor in Battle Creek. And so, I moved to Boyne City. We move into this sober house. And if you go back to the very beginning of the 217 Recovery Podcast, you'll probably hear about sexual relations. Or you'll hear any of these other things, because I was on part of that podcast. It was a very poignant time in my life. But then once I got, left the sober house, I was Northern Michigan sober, smoking reefer and drinking because, by God, you can buy it in a store. I think there's one down the road. I'm not from this town. But, it's... This is the craziest part about life today, is all these things. And I always told myself, I'll just smoke weed. I'll just smoke weed. Now, you know what? This weed wasn't good enough. So then the time that I'm living Northern Michigan sober, I have my own apartment. I have my own car, things that I haven't had in quite a while. I get news that my father passed away. And so I'm not allowed to smoke in here, am I? Okay, I'll just wait. So the only way I could actually deal with my dad's death at the time, no matter how much I put in that needle, no matter how much I drank, my father was still in Fort Custer National Cemetery. So that didn't work, and I promised myself, if I got to feel the pot, I'll just smoke pot. Bullshit, because I did that one thing that made me feel really, really good and drown out the emotions and the things that I never wanted to feel. So I just knew that one thing that was always going to make everything better, and it turned out it didn't do well for me. So after this relapse began, they found me on the side of the road in my boss's van, unresponsive. After I'd been driving back from wherever I was because I just got my giddy up to get my ducks in a row, and I couldn't wait to get home to do it because I needed it and I need it now. J.G. Wentworth, thank you. So, all the times that I've been in trouble before, all the, times that I was forced into treatment, all the times that I had to go do it, I never did it for myself. So so you get put on bond. Well, I guess that they give you PBTs and, drug screens when you're on bond, so they don't like it when you drop dirty or blow hot. And, so here I am, they let me out. It's 4 o'clock in the morning in Antrim County, and I'm from Battle Creek, where you can just get out of jail, go across the street, and go to the liquor store and cop some dope. I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere. 4 o'clock in the morning with no shoelaces, a tank top, a pair of shorts, and my sunglasses and everything else was in the van. So I called somebody that I knew, and she came and picked me up at 4:30 in the morning in Antrim County. She lived in Boyne. So this time the judge is like, you need to do some things. And, so here I am, blowing at 8 o'clock in the morning, grabbing my juice, didn't go to work, and then I got to drink until 7 o'clock because I got to get it all in before I got to stop and figure out when I, have enough time to get in the next one. So finally, I bumped into somebody I'd met in rehab before. Well, the World Wide Web, the internet. You come across somebody you meet that you knew, and well, she was on parole because she just got out of prison, so this is going to be great. You know what I mean? And the funny part is, so far, everything has been great because people can change. And, unfortunately, we lost her father, and it was because of alcohol. And I looked at her one day, and I said, I don't want to fucking be like that. She said, well, then quit drinking, motherfucker. Whew, that kind of hurt a little bit. And, so here's the message part. All the past, all the bullshit. She drugged me to meetings as I'm drunk. Got to get my sheet signed, and then you meet people. My buddy Rob was the first one I met, and he's these positive people in your life. So I keep going back to these meetings because they say, keep coming back. Battle Creek told me to get the fuck out. These meetings, they tell you, keep coming back. We want to see you do better. Keep coming back. So then finally I went and bought a pill that didn't do anything but keep me, from getting deadly sick while drinking because I'm not a huge MAT, I think they call them, medically assisted treatment person, because I can find a way to fucking abuse anything. But at this time, I took this anti-abuse pill so I wouldn't drink. And, here's where the road to recovery starts. Because everything that I had tried before, it didn't work. Because you know why? It's what I wanted to do. It's how I chose to live my life. It's how I was gonna fix my problem. I was. Well, it turns out that I fucked shit up. So I keep going to these meetings. They keep telling me to come back. Meet these positive people that come here, that support you. You got positive people inviting you to come do speak. I've been sober for 2 years, and nobody's ever asked me to talk in front of people. I think it's either number one, because I'm going to sit there and tell you how bad it was to the point where you just might go, But how bad... Sorry, rough crowd. Okay. But how bad did I want to get high in the past? Really fucking bad. But how bad do I want to be sober today? Even more. So I get to wake up in the morning. I get to go. I'm unofficial official number 2 on the glass line at Wojan Window and Door Corporation. Means that I'm number 2 in charge. I like to make things sound better because it sounds better when you're sober. All the things that I did, all the pot that I smoked, all the drugs that I did, all the stuff that I did that led me to where I am today. You get arrested, and then you didn't die. Oh, thank God. I always said that a lot, but I never really believed in a higher power. And then I went into a church one day, and I was like, all right, man, show me something. And all these coincidences that were happening in my life, they weren't coincidences. They were my higher power that kept me alive, to understand that I had something to do. I always used to pray, man, hey, I don't know what my purpose is, but fucking hurry up and tell me. I found out that it's in his time. Everything that I did up until that point, he kept me around to maybe talk to you guys, maybe to give a message of hope. You know what I mean? Being able to come up here and kind of ramble on for a little bit with a fucking dry mouth, cotton mouth, wanting to smoke a cigarette. You know, that's the one vice I have, because Philip Morris likes me more than I'll keep going, but it's just going to go over your heads. You know, I was sponsored by Marlboro when I was on the podcast, but they never gave me any cigarettes. You know, so all the things that I did, my therapist that I used to go to, I called her Dr. Angel Face until I got a $700 bill. You know, she said, make sure you emphasize the fact that even smoking pot, I can't do it. I can't drink a little bit, because if I drink a little bit, I drink too much. If I shoot a little bit, I'm going to shoot too much. I can't even smoke a little bit of reefer. Today, I'm all right with that. I accepted the fact that I cannot put anything into my body to change the way that I am. Anything that changes this mindset, even a little caffeine gets me jacked up a little too much. If I have an energy drink, I get cut off halfway through because she takes the can from me. So it's like, I'm grateful to be alive because I finally found a higher power. My higher power kept me alive to tell this story. And, you know, life's good today. You know, it's not fucking perfect. Sometimes my shoelace comes undone in a public restroom. That sucks. That sucks. And then all you gotta do is just tie it and wash your hands. So, like, you know, I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to come up here and talk to you guys. Didn't win anything. But you know what? I got to enjoy a nice complimentary meal. I was invited here and offered a free meal and the opportunity to spread a message of hope. And I hope what I said sunk. Well, it's like, I'm sure it sunk in, because you guys wouldn't be here if you didn't want to hear what the fuck I had to say. And there's other people here too. It's not just about me. Imagine that. You know, it's like, I got good people in my life. My mom actually, you know, we talk. This is the woman who once told me, she's like, I love you, but I'm not going to love you to death. I'm not going to hold your hand into the grave. Don't worry, Mom, I just got to move back in, got kicked out of a sober house. I'll be out in a couple of days. 6 months later, you know, I'm overdosed. 6 months later, I'm stealing $2,000 after just bond me out of jail. I became a very good criminal. But today, I'm not, it's like, you know, my name's Chris. I'm a drug addict and alcoholic, but I'm not that guy today. Because I have a higher power, because I choose to talk to people, and I get that. I don't have to talk to people. I get to do the things I do. It's all about perception. It's all about how you see things. It's all about how you see your life. I did see myself as a worthless piece of shit. Now I'm a pretty decent guy. Good enough to where people will fucking come watch me and drive, you know, a few hours, an hour and a half. Charlevoix is my new hometown, my place where I live. It's pretty classy. There's people that come up during the summertime. They call them fudgies. But they drive all the way up to fucking visit the place that I live. I get to drive to the store, and I see a glorious, majestic lake. I get to see wonderful sunsets. You know, I used to fucking not care. I'd get pissed when the sun was coming up, because damn it, I didn't go to sleep again. So the message of hope that I have for you guys is, you know, there's a higher power that he loves you. If you want to find him, whatever it may be, it could be a chair in that room. But if the chair in that room keeps you coming back, like they told me to keep coming back, then keep fucking going back. Keep fucking making the better effort to be a better person than you were the day before. I don't know how much time I burned up. I didn't say burn it up. I'm just thinking about smoking. So, I mean, it's always good to see old friends, new friends, friends in recovery, these cameras that are looking at me, facial recognition. Hope I don't have any warrants. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, because you know I fucking did. Thanks for coming out, guys.